Zeros.
Why can you only count to one?
My friends, it's in binary. Also, I'm not a sadist. I'm not trying to do an octal, okay? Don't even get me started. Come on, sir. You're a computer science teacher. You know what octal is. That's not what octal is.
You're an octal.
Oh boy, better take that back.
Oh, interesting.
Hold on one sec. Have to switch headsets for a second. Huh? Oh, I muted it. That's why. All right, Zealous, I need you to talk.
Hello, good sir. What are we doing on the show of shows? Where we do the stuff, where things happen with the stuff, where people do stuff with video games, because video games are games of life. And here we live as if we
All right,
don't know
that's sufficient. That's sufficient.
what to do with life.
Sufficient!
Because life is not sufficient
Dear Jesus, woman!
until
Sorry, dude.
you put your
Sorry,
headphones
I
on.
didn't mean to say woman.
Wow, Charlie is angry this evening at me for some reason. That greatly perturbs my feelings. Maybe I will go throw a cat at his face.
Nope. But I'm like this close to starting our TNH bingo card.
I think the wild card would be every time Charlie talks about a Funko Pop.
Sure. If you say so.
I mean, I know things. And they all revolve around Funko Pops.
Do they now?
Well, your Funko Pops. I don't have any Funko Pops, at least that I know of. There might be one hidden under my basement that nobody told me about.
Where's the... Oh, there it is. All right, ladies and gents, it looks like it's about time to do the show. Are we ready, Sirius?
What show exactly?
You know, the one that's important to do.
No, I thought you were talking about the other show with the stuff.
With the people and the thing, right?
Wait, we have people?
I missed. Terribly missed.
That's kind of sad.
Sorry, I have to rearrange my thingy.
Don't talk about your thingy on public television.
Damn it, I'm talking about my camera.
Mm-hmm.
All right, kiddos. I have plenty of notes for tonight, so be on the lookout for notes, which you're not going to see because they're my notes, not yours. Damn it. Go away.
You can read.
Define read.
Minds?
No, not yet. I'm getting there. And if I keep at this current pace, I should get it by my 2000th birthday.
You're close in soul.
Yep. All right, kiddos. Let's do this thing. The Thursday night hangout is going now. Actually helps if I mute our mics. How about that? And we'll do the intro. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Altered Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
It's Thursday? Are you sure about this, sir?
Gotta hope so, because if it's not, it's a little bit awkward. But it's still a hangout, so we got that going for us.
We can hang out on the Thursday night hangout?
Yeah, man. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
What?
We're supposed to come together as a group and discuss cool things.
We come together? Is that
Yeah.
like a show where we could talk about coming together?
With like-minded opinions, or maybe differing opinions, but at least voicing our opinions.
Yes, I want nothing to be alike. I want to be differences and fighting and fisticuffs and bombs dropped on each other.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific harbor himself, Zelius. This is the Thursday Hangout. This is a show for you where we try to talk about the topics that are most important to you. If at any time during the show, if you have not submitted a topic and you would like for us to discuss a topic, please drop it in the chat and we'll try to cover it as quickly as possible. If we do not get to cover that topic, we will move it over to the next show and then we'll do it there.
Yes.
Real quick, just a couple of housekeeping items. Ladies and gentlemen, do understand that the Thursday Night Hangout is live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, if you miss the show, there are a couple different flavors that you can get the show in. There, of course, is the video, which is available on YouTube, and, of course, our website, www.alteredconfusion.com. And there's also the podcast form, which, of course, once again, you can get on alteredconfusion.com, or you can go to Podbean, you go to Spotify, you can go to Pandora, and you can go to iTunes podcasts. I think we're on the Google podcast list. I can never remember.
That is like so many options I just cannot even keep track of.
And the options allow you, my friends, to choose your favorite poison for digesting the podcast.
What if I just do the crazy thing and watch it live?
Maybe you want to go back and relive an awesome part of the show.
You assume a lot about my memory.
We'll see. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the hot topic that's been basically everywhere this week, and it's actually a topic that Zelius and I have kind of discussed a lot forever, because it's something that all gamers want, and that is cross-platform play. You want the ability, since basically, I mean, yes, there are still some cases of that console exclusivity, but most of the time it's now a limited, a timed exclusive, where a game will come out on a specific platform a couple months before all the other platforms. But unless you are probably a first-party developer, you're going to have your game on as many platforms as possible. So let's talk about 3 games that are going to be cross-platform. I'm going to list them, and then we'll go further into the details, okay? So the 3 games, right off the bat, that we're going to be talking about are Runescape, Borderlands 3, and Overwatch.
Oh.
Now, I do understand that there's some people out there going, RuneScape's still around? Yes, it is.
RuneScape will not die.
No, it won't. It will never. If you go on Twitch right now, there's probably a couple thousand viewers for RuneScape. But here's the thing, though. There are 2 different versions of RuneScape. There is the old school RuneScape, and then the full-blown RuneScape. So
kind of like World of Warcraft and World of Warcraft Vanilla.
It's called Classic Warcraft, okay? Jesus.
Classic Warcraft.
There you go. All right, so anyways, so we'll start off with RuneScape. RuneScape, of course, has been around forever. It's an MMO RPG that was basically made it big back in the day where you had to have subscriptions. And, of course, they have changed their model with basically almost every single MMO out there. It's gone free to play. However, if you want to, you can subscribe, and it allows you access to more quests, skills, and other extras.
The free-to-play freemium model.
What does Nintendo say? Free to start. So basically, RuneScape The mobile version is now officially out. It supports cross-play, and here is the big one: cross progression with PC. So basically, if you're playing RuneScape, the full version, not just the old school has actually been out on the iOS since 2018, but the full-blown RuneScape is now available on your iOS or Google devices, Android devices. Your character will be there in all its glory on your mobile device, and let's say you log off your mobile device and you jump over to your PC. That exact character with all the exact stuff you just did on your mobile device is now on your PC.
That's actually pretty dang cool.
It is. I've stated this so many times. I want cross-platform play, and a lot of these games should be able to do it pretty easy. But the little like cherry on top is I want to have that cross progression. The developers behind Warframe, you listening? Because that should easily be something you could do, but it hasn't come out yet. Anyways, so there is a mobile version. It's got cross-play, cross-progression between the PC and your mobile device. It is free to play. There is, of course, a subscription if you so desire it, which will, of course, give you access to some cool stuff.
Nice.
Now, let's go into the little bit harder to explain, but still cross-platform. We'll go with Borderlands 3 first. So, it's official. Borderlands 3 has cross-platform play.
Wait, we can play together now?
Yes.
What?
Cross-play functionality for the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X or S, Mac, Stadia, PC, via Steam or the Epic Games Store. Starting today, cross-platform will be available across Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Mac, Stadia, PC, of course, through Steam and Epic. I love how they're like, just in case you forgot what we just stated, let me tell you all the things again.
But you're missing something very important on there.
What's that?
PS5.
Oh, snap. Look at that. You're right. It does not have PlayStation on it. Sony probably dicked you over. Interesting. Okay, well, anyways, for those that want to play nice with each other, starting today, crossplay will be available through their like matchmaking thing called Shift. So you're going to have to sign up for something, and basically it will enable your name to be active on all the different devices. Now, I'm not 100% sure if you get cross progression, because it doesn't look like it. It just looks like you can have your character, your profile can be played on multiple different devices. But I don't know I don't think your character carries. I think your character stays on that specific device. But if you are interested, what you need to do is you'll be greeted with an opt-in window when cross-play update is live. Regardless of whether you choose to enable or disable cross-play, you'll be prompted to set a cross-play display name, which is required for Shift matchmaking functionality. Your cross-play display name must meet the following requirements. Of course, it's basically, your must have a unique name that's not already in use. Got to have this many characters, all that stuff. And so once you've done that, you will be able to join games with other people on different devices. Well, apparently not PlayStation, but every other device.
Of course. That's the way. I mean, it seems like if any game ever gets like basically or system kind of gets the shaft as far as that goes, it's the PlayStation. PlayStation is just like, haha, sucks to be you.
So it's like, we don't want to play with you guys. And to be honest with, look, here's the thing. It's kind of weird that I don't see Sony's name in there. I wonder if it has something to do with this extra layer of the Shift matchmaking that Sony doesn't want to have that. I don't know.
I would not be surprised. Sony's like,
probably.
nope, I'm good. We're just going to stick to our own thing.
Yeah. So So now you can do cross-platform. I've already got my shift thing set up because when you stream, you have to have it set up so you can enable the plugins on Twitch to populate.
I'm kind of curious if I'll even see like on the PlayStation Borderlands if there's anything about cross-platform since it's not available. There's probably just not even anything on there.
I bet you just to be like to piss off players, it's probably a grayed out option in your menu. Be like, oh, I'm sorry, you got a Sony product. You could, bitch and moan to Sony, and maybe Sony will be like, no, we ain't
like it's there, but it's not. Yeah,
it's an optical illusion.
Joke's on you.
So yes, so Borderlands 3 starting today. If you're on anything but the PlayStation, you can do cross-platform. Now, once again, I'm pretty sure that does not mean cross-progression.
Sure.
I think you're going to you'll have your own characters on every single device, but you're going to be able to do, you'll be able to play against people on other devices or team up with people on other devices.
That could be fun if I could actually play with you, but nope.
All right, so let's talk about the third cross-platform, and this one, of course, is Overwatch. And I do want to point out one quick thing.
Just one?
Yes. Players of Overwatch can play together in quick play, arcade, and custom games, though there are caveats and restrictions for ranked matches.
Yeah.
If for players that are on the following systems: PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, can now all play together.
So I wonder with Overwatch, because if it's done straight through basically their equivalent of Battle.net, that's why Sony's like, okay, you can do that here.
I mean, Shift is basically like Gearbox Battle.net. I mean, that's really what it is. But yes, you have to have a linked Battle.net account in order to get this thing to go. And actually, right now, it is available, but it's a public beta. Basically, all players will have to link up their Battle.net account with their Overwatch playing console of choice. Yep. Everyone will be able to play together. That means PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch players can go head-to-head or team up as long as it's not ranked. Because ranked matches, there is an aim bot for console play. Which is a big no.
Really?
Against PC players, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's different. Which I can see that on competitive side, because console first-person shooters versus PlayStation first-person shooters are very different experience.
Agreed.
So I think that makes sense from the competitive perspective. But when it comes to quick play, and you can opt out of it, so it's not like you have to.
Right.
So if you don't, if you're on PC or console, either way, you're like, well, this is terrible. I don't like the idea of crossplay. Well, then you can disable it. So I think that's good. And I think for Blizzard's perspective, there's always a talk of Blizzard or Overwatch is dead in chat, because sometimes the queues are maybe a little bit longer, but this also makes the population to the gamer, competitive aside, seem much larger. So you do have a larger pool to draw from for your games. So I think it makes sense.
I wonder what the algorithm is going to be, though, for the matchmaking across platforms.
What do you mean?
So when you jump into a game, I'm assuming that you're going to be put into, if it's a quick play, you're going to be put in a pool with, how many players do they have? 6 on each side?
Yep.
Okay, so you plus 11 other people is there going to be like an even distribution of Xbox players or PC players or whatever, or is it really going to be that random? Could you have an entire somehow an entire 6-man team of Switch, and the other side is all PC?
It's a solid question, sir.
Because I know, at the end of the day, I know that there's going to be there are people who prefer one gaming method over the other. There's people who swear by the console. There's people who swear by the PC. But I really want to know is how does the system keep up through the different platforms?
I mean, I would think if it's just like random solo players,
Mm-hmm.
it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like you just get almost like a random distribution and go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a 6 stack of a PC player versus a 6 stack of a Switch player, 9 times out of 10, that PC 6 stack is going to stop the Switch 6 stack. So I think there are definitely cases where that matters. Because on the Switch you have from a competitive perspective,
Mm-hmm.
the gamepad is inferior to the keyboard and mouse. And the other issue with the Switch also is, especially for DPS, that refresh rate actually does make a difference for aiming. Especially for like hit scan players who are actually really good,
Mm-hmm.
having better frame rate really does potentially improve your gameplay even just a little bit. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Versus the Switch, which is still, I mean, it's an underpowered device. So I could see that, but again, it's not competitive. So it's also a little bit like, meh, whatever. So I think that's again where it not being cross-platform for competitive is a logical decision.
Well, of course, but you got to think that you would hope as someone who's playing a game that's on multiple platforms that no matter which version you're playing, if cross-platform is available or enabled, that outside of the mouse and keyboard versus the gamepad, there's no real advantage or disadvantage. And like you said, the Switch is an underpowered machine in comparison to some of these others. So the question is, can you get that quality of play, on the Switch versus like a bunch of PC players?
Fair point.
It would be interesting to find out. I do not own Overwatch in any of its forms. I do
I have
own an
Overwatch on the
Overwatch
PC.
hat.
I have Overwatch on the PC, obviously, but I don't really plan on buying it on the console.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want I'll play Destiny 2 on the PS5,
Mm-hmm.
but that's PvE, player versus environment.
Right.
So for me, that's a perfectly acceptable, and it's also made for that. Like I can feel when I'm playing Destiny
Mm-hmm.
that the aim is very generous. Like there's headshots I get where I'm like, that's not a headshot. So like that there's some kind of helping out in terms of aiming for a PVE type of game, which I'm all for. Because you're basically an overpowered character. That's kind of the whole idea.
I love OP.
Yes. So when it comes to like PVE games, yeah, I'll play those on the console all day long. It's the So what game I actually started playing? This is why don't really have a desire to play a game like Overwatch on the console.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing recently. It's the Dark Alliance game, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pretty fast-paced dungeon crawler action game. And doing those when you have tons of mobs and you have to do those quick turns to go 180s and 90s, see what's around you in all directions.
Mm-hmm.
I find that super not intuitive / cumbersome on the console versus the PC. That's just my personal experience, at least.
Right.
Which is something I'm regularly doing on the PC. You're flicking back and forth on the PC constantly to see who's around you, who's behind you, who's flanking you. It's really easy to do with the mouse. It's just muscle memory. But with the console, you're pressing the joystick, you're waiting. It's a very different type of thing. And I'm just like, ugh. So it comes to those kind of games. Yeah. The console just doesn't quite do it for me. And, again, play versus environment, I don't care. Or for that matter, like Overwatch, or play PvP, we're all on the same platform. So it's also not a big deal. But if I'm playing against PC or a game where it's very PvP oriented, Yeah, give me the keyboard and mouse.
And I mean, everyone's going to have their own preference, and I know that, you know, this is an argument or a discussion that happens anywhere and everywhere you go, where people are like, the PC is the best way to play it, mouse and keyboard. And you got these people who are like, I live and die by the gamepad. Look, I'm a little bit of both. I think for me, it depends on the game. It really actually depends on if I started playing the game with the gamepad, then I want to keep playing with the gamepad. If I start with the mouse and keyboard, I'm going to keep with the mouse and keyboard.
Sure.
Because I've put in that time. I'm getting that muscle memory, trying desperately to get a little bit of, Twitch skills so I'm not a sitting duck 9 out of 10 times. It's more like 7 out of 10 times. I'm trying to improve my odds, damn it.
Oof. Sorry, I think I'm becoming allergic to my bourbon or something. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe you should wash your glass.
You're one to talk.
What do you mean?
I've seen the growiness in your shot glasses.
I drank
out. Hey, I drank out of them. I mean, and that's my theory. Alcohol's an antiseptic. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly. It cleans. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so there's the three games that this week have talked about cross-platform play. Now, there has been some other stuff that has come out that I do want to touch upon, just because I don't know. It's a wee bit weird. And that is, of course, the news feed just like updated, so I just lost the damn thing.
No.
Okay.
You bastards.
Remember this game that's really, really buggy that got so bad that people were that all the platforms were willing to give like full refunds? A game called Cyberpunk 2077.
Which you played?
Which I did. I played all the way through. Bumps, bruises, blemishes, zits, whatever. Complete, all that jack, or all that jazz. If you're looking to get a refund on any of the platforms, you got to hurry, because they're basically all the platforms are ending their refund period. I think next month.
There's still a refund period for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yep.
That's like, I get like when it was first released, I'm totally fine with. It makes logical sense to still the refund period, but we're this far into the game. That seems a little bit silly. Like, if you haven't figured out
still broken
whether or not your system can play it or if it's buggy, then yeah.
Well, the problem is that they look. Part of me goes, they are releasing new patches. They're trying to fix things, but if you were to really check on what the hell has actually been fixed over, versus this laundry list of problems, I don't think that laundry list has really gotten hit all that well. And so you've got these people who maybe, they wanted the refund right off the bat because they're like, well, shit, this game's broken. I'm not going to pay for something that I can't play. Yeah. And then you have these people who may have jumped back in thinking, okay, they've probably fixed enough that I could play it. And then they've discovered, oh, it's still broken. So they're going to request, the refund again.
Okay, that's actually a very valid point. I'll accept that. That's actually a current situation with Outriders. It's one of the most frustrating games I've played because it's fantastic gameplay, like super fun. But the end game is absolutely abysmal. To their credit, PCF, People Can Fly, has been working to improve it. And apparently they actually came out with a patch this week, which changes basically the drop rate of the legendary end-game items, and fix some bugs in the game, which the reviews are basically, it kind of makes end-game fun again. So I may actually get me to go back into it. We'll see. But yeah, I can see that because, Outriders it has great core gameplay, but there's just some things in it where it's like, man, if they just fix these things, it would be fantastic.
Famous last words. If only they would do this, then it would be amazing.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I can see that with Cyberpunk if that happening. Um, so no, it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. I'm curious now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I played it. I played all the way through. I mean, put some serious time in there, but I'm not planning on coming back. Going, let's see what they fixed. I'm like, dude, I already spent like over 100 hours. I
Yeah.
I I played through all the bugs and weird shit that happened. Like all of a sudden having an item automatically equipped to your body and losing all your other items.
Now, what
Or
about like if they come out with more content? Does that interest you?
see, I think the thing is that I was satisfied with the ending to the game. I think if I
Mhm.
wasn't, then I'd be up for additional content.
Okay.
I think that really for me that's kind of like the uh that's the only reason I would go back to games. Like Borderlands 3, I could potentially go back if they were release a bunch of DLC because I didn't have that like that moment of I'm done. It was
Yeah.
just I was just basically running up against a freaking uh, uh basically I was just rinsing and repeating
Sure.
these missions and for
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that for you know too long before I get
Yeah.
bored.
I hear that.
But uh but yeah, I probably won't go back to Cyberpunk 2077.
Hmm.
Speaking of games, though, I did, for those out there who are patrons of Alter Confusion, you're probably aware that I was doing a playthrough for a game called Encodia. I have completed the game. I'm in the process of writing the review, and I've already gone over to the next game that I'll be playing, which is called. Oh man, I knew as soon as I said that I was going to forget what the damn. It's called Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure. So be on the lookout for that playthrough. And I will put, let's see, Zealius could probably, I'll just put the name.
I don't know how to actually spell it, so I
Yeah,
gave up.
I'm going to put the, how to spell it, and then Zealius could give you the Steam link.
I tried and failed at life.
Um, there you go. So,
Yep, I did not come close.
yeah. So, I mean, this, Encodia is made by an independent developer. It was an interesting game. Had some serious frustrating pieces, but I'm going to save all the like the commentary for when I actually write the review.
Well, according to Steam, the reviews are overwhelmingly positive for Encodia. Or
Sure.
sorry, only very positive, not overwhelmingly.
Yeah. Sure. I Here's the thing, and I'll just say that I'll just say one thing, and then I'll move on. It was
What?
a.
Just one?
I'm going to make one point. Okay. I'm going to make one statement. I'm not going to just say one word. I'm going to make one statement, and that is, it takes a hell of it. Let's see, how do I want to put this? It really takes dedication of wanting to see the game through to actually play the game all the way through.
All right.
Because believe me, there were times where I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
But you made it.
I made it. I made it all through, all the way through.
There you go.
But like I said, I'm playing Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure. Ryuku Hazami. I think Cyberpunk is doomed. Doesn't matter if they fix it or not anymore. The bugs killed the hype the people had. Absolutely, and I think that's why the refund is still available for everybody, because there are probably some people that are going to wait until the 11th hour, that are going to try one more time, take it for a spin, and if it's still shitty, they'll ask for that refund right before the refund period's over.
Well, I saw this week where Sony is again allowing Cyberpunk back onto the PlayStation Store
Yep.
with the very strongly worded language of it's not even allowed for the base PS4 model.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite recommended even for the PS4. They recommend it only really for the PS5.
Well, because it wasn't really
because
tested.
the performance is so terrible.
Yeah. That does not surprise me at all. But the pieces of that game were awesome. They were interesting, they were fun, they were engaging. But as an individual who has been a developer, who has been a QA manager and a tester, and basically everything underneath the rainbow, minus a sound engineer and an artist, it drove me nuts. Like, how the hell do you put a product out like that? All the colors, damn it. A double rainbow, okay? Zelius, if you really want to know.
Fancy.
Yes. Ryuku Zame says, so can I still refund Cyberpunk on Steam, although I played it more than 2 hours and have had since... Okay, so Steam is a different beast. I'm not exactly sure at this point. I'm sure that when it first came out, I think Steam's got some weird policies of you have to ask special permission to get a refund after you've put so many hours into a game. And I think over 2 hours puts you in it's up to the developer. Which, by the way, just in case you were wondering, if you, say, are playing a game, a new game on Steam, and you accidentally do not log out of that game, that time clock keeps going. And if you say, well, this game is shit, I only played like 15 minutes of it, but for some dumbass reason, I decided to leave the game on for 4 hours, you can't get that refund because it shows that you've played 4 hours worth of the game, even if you haven't.
Well, okay. I mean, personal responsibility?
Yeah.
Log out of the game?
Whatever.
I
don't know.
To you, sir?
Huh?
Did this happen to you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That game that was driving me nuts, Greedfall, I couldn't get a refund on it because I apparently at some point forgot to log out of the game. So it clocked me for hours of gameplay. I'm like, dude, seriously, I got to like the second area. The first area being the tutorial, the second area being walking around, and I just wanted to bash my head into the ground because everything was so fucking annoying about that game.
No, I thought with Steam refunds, you could like post a reason why, and sometimes they'll still consider it.
Yes, I did, and they rejected it.
Oh.
I said, it's unplayable. Here's all the problems I have with the game. They're like, you play too much of it. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Anyways. Speaking of Steam, though, Valve has come out just recently and is really going after everyone who has been utilizing VPNs. The reason is that you can kind of game the system and change your location so that you could get Steam discounts in areas that aren't yours, but you can mask it to look like you're in that area.
Game the discount system is what it comes down to.
I tell you what, man, the uptake of like VPN issues is nuts. Like on my I've got a VPN. I've got VPN on my phone and on my PC, and I have to turn it off on both during certain things. The main reason for me to turn the one off on my desktop, though, is if I actually want to use the networked printer.
Oh, that screws that up?
Yeah. They're like, well, we don't see a printer. I'm like, it's right there.
USB cable.
Yeah, no. But also there are certain games that won't play on both the mobile and the PC, and there's certain apps that won't load. Basically anything, if there is some sort of streaming service, they've now caught on to people changing their areas, and so it won't load right.
Nice. Like it knows, like, nope, you're trying to cheat the system. No,
like, oh, I see. Just for example, YouTube TV actually will not take your IP address location. It does a GPS location. If you turn off your location thing, it says we don't know where you are, so you're not in the US, so you can't watch it.
That's one way of doing it. Well, yeah, because you do it through your web browser, so there you go.
Yep. But You know, I I mean, I understand. This is. I think I actually asked about this like a couple of months ago because there was a YouTuber who was basically being sponsored by a VPN provider,
Yep.
and they were basically saying, "Do you want to get the shows that are released in different areas before everyone else? Use this VPN to switch over."
Mm.
And I was like, "Is that even legal?" Because
Yeah,
I don't.
that's a little bit sketchy. Would you like to get this game for free in this other country that I'm about to show you? Show this VPN.
Well, I mean, it's like there is a there's a TV show that was at some point available on Netflix, but it is no longer available on Netflix. It's available on Amazon Prime, but only in specific countries. And so if I were to change my VPN to I think it's Australia, I'd be able to watch the show. And it's a kids show, by the way. It's a kids show.
Oh, do it for the kids, man. That I can get behind.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like I for me that would be like what I would do. I it didn't even occur to me to go, oh yeah, let me think. Uh, the 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 release schedule. If sometimes games come out first in different areas, if I
Yeah.
change my VPN so I'm there, I could get like a discount or maybe get early access. That didn't occur to me. Now I'm going, damn it.
The craziness of geopolitics and all the different locations.
Yeah, yeah. So I, yeah, VPNs. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to turn it off and turn it back on again, which kind of defeats the purpose, right? You put a VPN to try to protect your network, but you have to keep toggling it on and off depending on what you want to do on your computer.
Uh, well, some VPNs though have different exit nodes for that exact reason.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, a VPN that has an exit node in Florida
Mm-hmm.
is just as useful as a VPN in Australia if you're using to the mat to, in theory, mask your traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, if you're using it to watch like a geographically restricted show or to play the discount game, that's a whole different story, obviously. But if
Right.
you're doing it just to, in theory, mask what you're doing, at that point, you might as well just get a Tor browser.
Yeah. Um, so I do want to bring this up because, as you know, Ultra Confusion is huge fans of things called conventions. Um, and it appears that PAX West or PAX Prime or wherever the hell, yes, bingo, Yahtzee. Zelius's cat walked across his desk. Um,
You see the tail.
yes, exactly. This PAX West 2021 will be in person.
What?
Yes. Now, of course, that is over. That's September 3rd through the 6th. The exact same time as Dragon Con.
I was like, that rings a bell.
Well, shit. I mean, that used to be. I used to go out of town and go to PAX Prime, and then miss out on Dragon Con, which is where I live.
Imagine that.
Yeah, Dragon Con's coming back too, right? Yeah, it's coming.
Yes,
It'll
that
be
is.
in person. This.
Yep, that's
So
already
it looks
been
like
announced as in person.
I always get it confused. This is Labor Day or is it
Yes.
Memorial Day? Labor Day.
I remember Memorial Day because the month starts with an M of May.
Okay. Okay. Well,
That's
there you
the
go.
only way I can keep them straight.
So Labor Day. Yeah, Labor Day. Labor Day weekend apparently is like the magic moment where people or convention promoters and organizers are going, it's game time.
Well, I think they're all ready to get back into the convention swing of things also and start bringing in that sweet dough to make it so that they can continue to have conventions in the future also.
Right. I mean,
if it goes too long without having one, they're going to go bankrupt.
I mean, I mean, look at if you were to, thanks to COVID, and I'm being sarcastic, if you were to look at the number of businesses or venues that have had to close, or even like groups, developers and bands, musicians, artists, all tons of different people, because of the restrictions from COVID, they've had to maybe simplify or maybe close their doors or, try to jump on someone else's bandwagon or maybe like go 50-50 with something to try to stay alive while COVID's still happening.
Yeah, it all sucks.
I mean, if Zelius and I have a very favorite spot to go, it is Battle and Brew in Sandy Springs. And I will tell you that they do a very good job of trying to, keep everything safe and whatnot. But you could tell that they've definitely simplified their menu because they don't know how much crowd's going to come through, and they're really at the basics right now so that they can kind of keep food costs down. They're not going to have, they might have like a special once in a blue moon, but the vast majority of the stuff, it's not. It's going to be the staples for like bar food.
Well, I've noticed that like a lot of restaurants you go to have like markings through certain items, probably the least popular or most complex, depending on ingredient to what you can get. If they're not available, you'll hear like people complain like, why would you have my favorite breaded chicken fingers with applesauce on it or something totally random? It's like, well, because it's not a common item and because of COVID, everything, because everything's also so much more expensive.
Right.
I don't know if the official rate of inflation's changed, but you think like even just going to the store of trying to buy any staples or necessity of life, like wood or anything for your computer, is just insane. And you are sure that, that cost is getting down to us somewhere along the lines. So yeah, they have to figure out where to cut costs to stay in business, which I totally get.
I'm gonna be honest. If you have the ability to go to Battle and Brew, if you're in the Atlanta area and you have the ability to go to Battle and Brew, go to Battle and Brew. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's so much fun. And I know that when you go certain places, you're like, oh, well, the portions are going to be tiny. Dude, their definition of a freaking chicken finger is a breast, okay? So you get 3 chicken fingers. That's 3 chicken breasts. I always have leftovers. And I also, of course, have my mana potion and then a beer or 2 or 3. But, I love the environment, the culture. That's what I've been missing the most with these conventions and gatherings and stuff that I don't get personally from like a virtual presence.
Yeah. No, I totally hear that. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to pause real quick and give 2 rounds of thanks to friends of the show. So if you will just give me 1 second, let me pull up the list here so I don't butcher anything. I mean, I've said it enough. I should be able to do it without looking at my cheat sheet, but let's be honest.
Isn't butchering things the most fun part of life?
Sometimes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to take a bit of time to draw attention to this organization called the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. If you would like more information, go to Indie Cluster, that's INDIECLUSTER.com. Also, the guy who runs it, Ron, is amazing. And then, of course, the other shout out we have to give is to the one and only Dr. Ryan of Hero Chiropractic. If you are in the Atlanta area, seriously, look this guy up. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus is to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They're committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. If you want more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Oh, and I do have to do one more shout out. but I have to grab some real quick. Hold on.
Another shout out.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to give a little bit of love and a little bit of attention to the man, the myth, the legend. That, of course, is Craig Campbell of Nerdburger Games. Nerdburger Games is the game development imprint of award-winning RPG designer Craig Campbell. Craig has done a whole bunch of RPG design freelancing in the past. Several years ago, he dove into designing his own RPG. Now, Nerdburger Games has multiple RPGs and is showing no signs of stopping. Nerdburger Games endeavors to create games that explore corners of the RPG landscape that haven't been explored or hadn't been explored very often. These games forgo dense gaming mechanics in favor of lighter rule sets that allow players to focus on telling fun, engaging, memorable stories. If you want more information, go to www.nerdburgergames.com. And the reason why I bring that up, ladies and gentlemen, is that I just got my latest Kickstarted item from Nerdburger Games. That, of course, is Good Strong Hands, which...
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great cover.
Yes, it is. It is awesome. So, let's see. Ryuki Hazami. So basically a year ago, the game developers released a trailer for a game they wanted to release last year, but because of Corona, it didn't come out, so they have announced that they are now going for a completely different route now for the game. So for someone who was hyped about the game, what would be y'all's opinion on it? That's a very good question. So I do know that something very interesting has happened with some games, and that is that that there are a couple games out there that have actually dropped multiplayer to go a more single player route. But okay, so in my honest opinion, it really depends on what about that game really had you hyped up. Was it the story? Was it the matchmaking? Was it the game modes? What type of game was it? For me personally, I'm always going to kind of get really hyped up about something that looks gorgeous and has depth to it, like story. I'm more of a single player person. I will play online games on occasion, but the main thing is I want to be able to get lost. I want that escapism. Get lost in the story and, feel like I'm a part of the thing. It was the character introduction and gameplay. Okay, so are they changing? So the question is, are they changing the characters and the gameplay, or is the characters the gameplay why you wanted to play the game? If they've changed a chunk of the game, but the core of what made you happy is still there, I don't think that, for me personally, I don't think my desire to play the game would be reduced.
I think if you change the character and the gameplay, that sounds very integral to what the game actually is. Like, that's almost like the heart and soul of what a game is. When you play the game because of gameplay. So if they change both of those elements, unless it's tied to like an established, let's just say like movie or anime franchise, and you want to play it because of that lore. But yeah, or is he?
Well, it's a 50-50.
The characters will be the same, but the gameplay is completely different. Yeah, if it's a different type, like if they change, let's just say it was a first-person shooter, and that's what you want to play, and now all of a sudden it's a hack and slash RPG, which you have no interest in playing, then that definitely completely changes.
Okay, hold on a second here. First-person shooter and hack and slash RPG. We're at the point where everything has RPG elements to it in some shape or form. So I don't think that's that big of a. So let's go with first-person shooter, and then it turns into a turn-based strategy game, or somehow it becomes a sport game. I don't know how, but it does.
Isn't like shooting things a sport? Like skeet shooting's a sport, therefore Destiny is a sports game.
Whatever. I think okay. So if the gameplay mechanic, the thing that if it's vastly different, then to me, my brain's now going, it's going to be like Naruto.
I know that anime Naruto.
Well, that's what it's going to be. Okay, so they're reworking a Naruto. I wonder if what's the name of the game? I want to actually research this now because if it's one thing that possibly could happen is that because I'm assuming it's a fighting game. The actual mechanic of, do you have teammates? Can you switch in and out? What type of environment? Are we talking 3D? We talking 2.5D? What size arena? All that jazz. That could make Demon Slayer.
Is that not? Nope. Okay.
Okay, so Demon Slayer is a really good anime, by the way. If you you need to watch it. I think the dub version's out on a couple different streaming platforms. So I mean, I'll have to look at the trailer for the Demon Slayer game. But Demon Slayer definitely screams like hack and slash. And there's also a movie out if you want to, but the movie's just subs only right now. But okay, so let's say hypothetically, if the trailer is only the character introductions, well, it gives me an idea. Let's just say, let's give an example. Zelius, he's been playing a lot of. We'll go Destiny. So you get really excited for a Destiny game, and then they start basically, I don't know, they're reworking it to be a strategy game instead of the first-person shooter.
Okay. Yep.
For me, now it gets a little interesting. Am I a fan of this game because of the genre and the subject matter, or am I a fan because of the subject matter, but the genre kind of, makes me less like die hard to get it? So it's basically taken me from day one to I'll get it eventually. Because that, honestly, that's something that could easily happen with certain games. There's games out there that I've had my eye on, but then they're like, yeah, there's a lot of online play that's required. I'm like, no. Oh.
Or to get mastery of the game, you have to now play online.
Super duper tangent here. Once upon a time, there's this trilogy called Mass Effect. You may have heard of it.
Yeah.
When Mass Effect 3 originally came out, there was a huge component to it that was online. You had to do online shit to get like close to 100% completion. You don't have to do that in the Legendary Edition.
No way, they changed it?
Yes, thank God. So basically, they're interested because obviously you like the anime, and I did like the Naruto, but I don't want to buy a game which has lack of gameplay and story. Totally understand that. If they were basically like, so we had this intricate story that for the game that you're going to play, but now it's really like, basically they're going to drop you into an area, and it's just going to be waves of monsters. It's going to be Dynasty Warriors or 99 Nights, which I don't know if many people know that game, but it was Xbox 360. It literally was, you've got a character and you're running around, and just these freaking like mobs of monsters come at you, and you try to kill them all, and you're racking up the combo bonuses, and there's not really any story to it, but it is enjoyable in its own way. But see, the thing is, especially with Demon Slayer, that's story driven. If you take away the story, that's made it like a cookie cutter, like vampire hunting game. You've kind of taken a lot of the wind. Well, it's got the lead character in it, but it doesn't have that depth that you get through the anime, which is a phenomenal anime. Then yeah, I'm gonna have a problem. Yeah. That's me. I mean, Zelius?
Yeah, I mean, I think you pretty much summed it up pretty well. If I'm expecting a game and all of a sudden it all changes. And I think the other issue too you possibly run into is if you have a developer who, let's just say they switch it from, let's just say, first-person shooter to the strategy game halfway through the development, that seems to usually also not bode well for the actual quality of the game. Because when they've gone that far into development and all of a sudden they do a 180, and they completely change what the game is, then I also have to question, is this going to be any good? Because that also is like, do they know what they're doing? Like, what was
Right.
their vision? And why did their vision change? So that's also, to me, a big red flag from a development perspective. When it changes that drastically, especially if there's no uh, rationale given for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we change from a first-person shooter to a strategy because we realize that this genre does not lend itself to first-person shooter, and they gave these reasons, like okay, but if they're just like, "Yep, we changed it," then I'm worried. So I think that's my other worry is if they just change it, then that definitely sends up a red flag.
So they're basically saying it's more like they don't want to do a game where you go kill 100 minions and they get one boss fight and a cutscene and that's the story. So it looks like they're really like watering it down and just trying to keep the it sounds, I haven't, I'll have to actually dig into it, but it sounds like they're basically doing the Michael Bay Transformers thing where the name is there, but it's more like, there's a couple robots and a shit ton of military. And for this one, it's probably you've got, your vampire slayer and then, your generic cookie cutter vampires and a boss that has one or two special forms that you have to kill. And you're going, and it's become very linear. You're basically going stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, all the way up to stage 30 or something.
Mm-hmm.
That drives me nuts. I know Zelius is easily gets lost in an open world.
Yep. There's too many things to do, man. Just can't handle it.
I think there's. I understand that open world people could get super duper lost in, but at the other end of the spectrum, I can no longer play games that are strictly linear. That's literally this level to this level, this level to this level. I like the Metroidvania approach of you have this area, certain parts of this huge ass world you can't get to until you've got like the special key or special weapon or something, but you can kind of your own path. Although it's still you got to kill at the end of the day you're going to kill whatever eight bosses to win the game, but you can kind of go your own route and kind of poke at different parts of the entire world. That I'm okay with.
Okay, I can see that.
But yeah,
so you can do it as linearly or as open as you kind of want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now I will say this: there are certain games out there that that basically cookie cutter everything, and they try to pour all of the story into the cutscenes, and that also drives me like bonkers. Because
you don't like cutscenes?
No, I love cutscenes, but I don't want to basically go through the motions for 20 minutes to an hour of killing generic monsters and maybe the mechanics or the feel of the game is it actually truly there, and then I watch a cutscene that you could have incorporated parts of that into the actual play of the game. Like you're doing a platformer game and you're jumping and it's kind of really rigid, and then all of a sudden you have a cutscene where the guy's rolling and dodging and blocking with a shield, which magically appeared because in the game when you're actually playing, the shield's not there. That kind of thing where it feels like they didn't know how to make a game, but they damn sure knew how to do animation.
Maybe they anime masquerading as a game.
I believe there's a type of game out there called Xenosaga, or Xenocinema, where literally it was like you played 20 minutes and there's like a 30-minute cutscene.
Were they at least good cutscenes?
Oh, phenomenal! But there was no pause.
You just pause the system. Just press the pause button, right?
No, that does not exist. Well, actually, nowadays I think you could potentially just like exit back to the main console menu and it would pause. But back in the day, you were in it to win it, and you couldn't just take a break. Unless, of course, you're on an emulator, and then you could. But emulators are
Whoa.
just saying.
That's up there with VPN, sir.
Oh God. I don't think it's
Using an
completely the same.
emulator over a VPN while attached to a Tor client.
Dear God, dude.
Just go crazy, man.
Mm-hmm. I don't. For me personally, I want the story and the action to be one and the same. I have nothing against cutscenes. I absolutely have nothing against cutscenes. I love a good cutscene. It better be a good cutscene. If you put a shitty cutscene in the middle of the game, I'll be going, why? There is actually, damn it, I said I wasn't going to say anything else about Encodia, but I'm going to say this one thing. There is a cutscene that didn't need to be there, and it was literally you and your robot partner riding a lift, and your character staring basically at the camera, and your robot character basically turns at like halfway through the cutscene, turns and stares at your character, and that's it. That's the whole cutscene. There's no words. The only movement is the robot going from here to here, and that's it. I'm going, why?
Why indeed, sir? I don't know to tell you why. I'm sure there's a reason for it.
All right, since I have everyone's attention, I do want to do some other shout-outs. This is all for Alter Confusion. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's very, very apparent that there is a certain organization out there that Alter Confusion has very close to their heart, and that, of course, is Extra Life. Alter Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 10 straight years.
That's so many years.
I know. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, gaming, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to our chosen hospital, which is the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, as unrestricted funds. This means the hospital decides where and how to spend the money that we've fundraised to ensure all the dollars. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Can you talk, sir?
This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids that they treat. If you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Alter Confusion, and you can donate today. Now, as I've said many, many times, if you do not have the ability to donate to Extra Life, but perhaps me simply mentioning this makes you think of, maybe I could do that. Go to extra-life.org and find out the information. You too can create a team or do it solo. It's a 24.
You can team up with us.
Or you can team up with Alter Confusion. It's a 24-hour game-a-thon in early November. I have done the full 24 or 25, depending on the stupid time change, for 10 straight years.
It's a lot of years, man.
Yeah, I know.
Does it make you feel old yet?
Do I feel old? I'll tell you after the 24-hour game
Fair
stream. But there will be a game stream for the entire 24 hours if you want to tune in. If you want to join a team, absolutely join a team. It doesn't have to be video games. It could be board games. It could be pencil and paper RPGs, card games, whatever. They're just looking for individuals with a gamer's mindset that want to help out Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
What if I don't have a gaming mindset?
But you still want to participate? Find a team that's already formed, and then ask to join them, and try to find your place on that team.
Maybe I will be their chef.
Perhaps. Maybe be the water boy. I don't know.
The beer boy?
Or beer, or more
Mountain
likely
Dew?
Mountain Dew boy.
The coffee boy. I can do that.
Ugh. Okay. Since I have everyone's attention, I do want to do one other quick thing, and that is Alter Confusion survives on love and support of fans like you. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, supporters, lovers, haters, enemies, and friends, to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. All to Confusion, all the money we raise through Patreon goes either to upkeep of the equipment or to help us cover fees at conventions, which I'm hoping we are able to start attending very, very soon. There are 2 different tiers as of right now. One's a $1 a month tier, which is $12 a year, which allows you early access to all the game, the playthroughs and polls to help shape, inform future Alter Confusion content. And then, of course, if you want to go big, that's a $5 a month tier or $60 a year. That gets your name and organization and thank you section of all Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangouts. Of course, gain early access to all the playthroughs and the ability to participate in polls and such to help shape Alter Confusion. Now, I would love support for Alter Confusion. This has been basically a passion project for me since 2007, which makes it really old. But I love video games, and I have Alter Confusion has evolved over the many, many years. I think right now my main focus is to help out independent creators, and conventions where I get to do that the most because I get to actually interview them and I can, put the podcast, spit it out to the world. But we do need help and support from individuals like you to help cover these fees and to allow us a little bit more flexibility with what we can do. So, Zelius, do you have any closing thoughts, sir?
Video games good.
I am so excited. Tomorrow, I could finally play Mario Golf.
Why are you excited for Mario Golf?
Dude, I've been dying to get my hands on this game, and I thought it was coming out around my birthday. And I got super depressed when I found out it wasn't coming out until the 25th of June. And so
you're
tomorrow,
depressed on your birthday is what I'm hearing? That's very sad, sir.
Well, no, I found other things to be excited about on my birthday. Okay, but I was really hoping that I was going to be able to, really put some time into Mario Golf. As a result, because Mario Golf wasn't out, I bought the Mario Tennis game, which is pretty solid in itself. But
not golf.
But it's not golf. I wanted golf, damn it. Because I remember playing Mario Golf on the GameCube and on the DS. Was it the DS? Yeah, I think it was the DS. Or maybe it was the Game Boy Advance. And you could basically, you could pair the 2 games if you had the extra GameCube little connector thing on the bottom. So you could get specialty items and stuff passed between the 2 games.
What about the Switch? Was it on there? Because it seemed like the Switch was on purpose, perfect for golf.
Oh no! I mean, Mario Golf is on the Switch tomorrow.
Okay, or not the Switch, the Wii.
Yes, it is. No, I don't know if golf was. I know tennis was, because I have the tennis one. But I'm not sure about Mario Golf. I think Mario Golf might have taken a break. But I still can't wait.
Apparently, you can still pick it up curbside from GameStop tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. When it gets released.
No,
tomorrow.
For the Wii.
For the Wii?
Yes.
All right,
I can get it curbside, pick up tomorrow. Who knew?
Well, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached the end of our show. I do want to point out once again that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this or listening to this after the fact, by all means, hit us up through any of our social media places. And if you have any questions, your comments, you just want to hang out, hit us up there. Everything goes to me, and I can then, start a conversation with you. Or maybe suggest games that we might have missed, or maybe some news articles that are interesting that might have, I might have accidentally passed. We do this to create a conversation so we can talk with you guys. And that's the most important thing about the Thursday Night Hangout.
Probably would much prefer to talk to you all than me. Just say.
I'm sorry, Zelius, but the truth had to come out at some point.
I'd rather talk to somebody else than myself too.
Yeah, touche. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, it's been a pleasure giving you everything to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. Okay, I'm not exactly. This application is starting to freak me out. It keeps resizing itself. Like everything's going fine. The Streamlabs thing, it just keeps like resizing a couple of the windows as we're streaming. I'm going, oh fuck! I hope it's still working. It's working. It's working. It's fine. It's fine.
Or it's just Windows being Windows and doing stupid things.
That too. Like I said, I'm starting to play Gibbous, the Cthulhu game, which is a lot of fun. It's another point-click adventure game. And I'm serious about trying to figure out maybe testing out a fan viewer phone in for next week.
Nice.
I mean, I probably, I'll hand.
Can I call in?
No, nuts. You got to show up to the thing.
Oh.
I also want to kind of test with if we could get if it's possible to do more of like a round table discussion and get multiple people in here, and if that would look pretty on the computer.
I like it.
Yes. So many things in the wings, as it were.
The breadbasket of Ultra Confusion. Cooking in the oven.
Sure. Is anyone else kind of like confused by this new shit that dropped on the Windows toolbar, where it's now like manage my interest?
Or the new weather little dock thing that nobody asked for. People thought it was like malware.
Yeah, but if you open it up, it gives you the top stories and traffic reports and all this stuff. I'm like, when the fuck did this? Why are you putting this on my computer? Oh, that's the other thing. If you have the VPN on, it gets really fucking confused. It's like, I don't know where you are.
Nice.
Zimbabwe. Nope, I'm in Atlanta. Why would you want to know the weather in Atlanta? I'm just saying.
Ooh, let's see. What did it give you for my traffic updates?
It's clear.
Hey, it's Atlanta. You never know if it's going to actually be clear.
I think this is just their way of forcing you to actually use Microsoft Edge. Because if you click on any of that shit, it's going to go to Edge.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely a good call.
Which I like. I have hesitancy to actually, use IE, which is actually sunsetted. But I don't want to use Edge. I don't want to. It's not that I have anything against Edge. It's just it looks like garbage. And to be honest with you, with the vast majority of the things that I work on a daily basis, Edge is not even like thought of for the stuff that I test.
Ooh, it actually is kind of cool though.
What's that?
I haven't looked at this before, but they have the built into their maps.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Georgia DOT cameras.
Yeah, buddy.
That's actually kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you can like see live, like what does the traffic on 400 right now actually look like?
There is no traffic.
You keep telling yourself that, sir.
It's like 9:20 at night. There's nothing happening.
You've lived in Atlanta how long? You know better than that.
Dude, I'm looking right now.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, stuff could happen, but it's probably like up in the mountains. Or inside the perimeter might still have something.
Yeah, actually, it looks all green.
Now, get to, well, actually, that's just a closed surface street, but still. I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
No, do not set this as my default browser. It will never be my default browser.
No,
ever.
don't do it.
Ever. Oh, I did want to try to do a playthrough of this other game, but that shit was broken, like really broken. Like I couldn't even. Like I tried to set it up, and like the volume was all kinds of messed up, and I couldn't get the volume to work in the game. It kept making like high pitched noises.
Oh, that's just silly.
And then like when I actually got into the game, I couldn't figure out how to do anything. I was like, I can walk, but it's basically a first person. It's more of a walk simulator, but still it's a first person thing where you're walking from point A to point B in a roundabout way, and maybe you'll pick up a couple items along the way, but I don't know how to pick up any of the items. It says pick up, but I don't know the button to do it because apparently spacebar, enter, left click, right click, tab, A, B, C, D, QWERTY, nothing's working.
According to this, I can get to, let's see here, Snellville in 32 minutes.
Aha. Oh, I should have mentioned this when we were talking about Overwatch. If you do the battle.net stuff and finalize your connection, and if you do that by the end of this year, December 31st, 2021, you'll get 1 golden loot box on every linked platform. So if you've got it several different platforms, link them all up together and you'll get a gold box for all of them.
Nice.
Yes.
So I know I texted you about this earlier, but have you actually watched
Ragnarok?
No, the anime one. Not, I know there's a TV show called Ragnarok.
No. Yeah.
But the anime, like Legend,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
That's like the most fucking like metal anime I've ever seen.
Yeah. No. I watched all of them.
I want to go crush.
I watched the entire thing, and I have many thoughts, feelings about that because I watched the entire thing, and in some regards, I'm like, son of a bitch, I've been suckered into the Dragon Ball Z method of we are going to stretch out a fucking fight forever.
Yep. Oh, but they're satisfying. Like, there's actually a conclusion, at least.
Yeah. There's a conclusion. It's fine. It's finite.
Yeah. It's good. I was impressed.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Every single time that they showed Aphrodite, I'm like, I feel slightly uncomfortable.
And when you realize there's like hands under her, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that at first, but after a couple episodes, it's like, wait a second.
Well, the other thing is when I started watching, it's not really a spoiler for anyone out there who's still tuned in, but basically, Ragnarok to me is Norse mythology.
Yeah.
But in the show, it's all pantheons. It's basically like the anime took the roster out of the game Smite and then said, "You're gonna fight the humans.
You're gonna fight everyone."
I have you seen the entire thing?
No, I just finished up the Thor fight.
Oh shit! No, I can't see jack. There's the.
It was very satisfying. I'll say that much.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the.
Limbu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's. Hold on. I'm gonna end the stream.
All right.
People tune in later.